Welcome back to the Norse BenchWarmers podcast. I'm your host, Colton Smith, sitting here next to co-host Ben Miller and producer Josh Northcutt. We also have special guest Alex Perez on the show today, and I won't forget you this time, director Garrett Jordan.
I appreciate it.
That's a mouthful. We'll have an even bigger mouthful next week, though. Hey, listen up. We have Logan coming onto the pod. Logan Hatfield. He hasn't been on the pod yet. He's been out in the weens for a little bit. Mm-hmm. So excited to get him on. And we're going to be doing a live fantasy basketball draft. This will be Josh's first, I believe Ben's first.
Yep.
And Garrett's first time he's thought about basketball for more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to see what Garrett's team ends up being.
Probably half the names I won't even know. I'm just going to go. I'm literally just going to be like, his name sounds cool. I'll pick him.
It's going to be a scientific experiment.
Well, if it says anything, he said Jaws his first pick no matter what if he's on the board. Whether it's pick one or whatever it is, he's taking Jaws.
Yeah.
All
right. Question for those more NBA inclined than I am.
Mm-hmm. So everyone here.
Yeah. One of my favorite names growing up was Carlos Boozer. Does he still play?
No.
Not only does he not play anymore, didn't his two sons just commit to Duke?
Yeah. Oh no.
If you waited a couple years, we could have said his sons play, but
it's not even a couple. Those kids are straight to the NBA.
Okay, they seniors this year?
No, they're seniors in high school. Yeah.
Okay.
They're stupid.
I didn't know where they were at. It feels like they've been in middle school for the past half century.
They're stupid good.
Yeah, no, they're good. It'll be interesting. So pretty soon there'll be a Boozer back in the NBA that you can root for. But you just got to wait a couple years for that. You can be a Duke fan until then.
I was trying to be nice and just enjoy this. And you're not going to ruin it, gentlemen. Victory Monday tastes so good.
It's an energy drink. It's an energy drink.
It's an energy drink. We would dry campus.
Again, yes. But hey, Victory Monday tastes so good. That's all.
We're going to wait to hear your copium till later, correct?
Yeah, you're good right now.
All right. Yep. So let's go ahead and go to another league you're coping in, and that is fantasy football. Alex, we have yet to hear about your team yet. You want to give a little recap on how you've been doing this season?
It started off pretty rough. 1-2 is how it started. Now I've won the last 4, I think now. Mm-hmm. I mean, pending a great game from Josh Allen tonight or something. But
and Breece Hall.
I think we've got that one. Well, Breece has looked bad the last couple weeks, so I'm not going to count on that. Decimated with injuries. A.J. Brown and Joe Mixon have been out a long part of the season, and they're big point getters for my team, so it's been tough. But they're healthy now, so I think I'm back.
I remember week 1, you were the highest scoring. It was either you or that Deshaun team. Mm-hmm. But let's go ahead and take a look at the scores from last week as Kyle Pitt's legacy season. Once again, we are on a 3-game winning streak at this point. Defeats Trey's talented team. I thought he was going to beat me because of something I said a couple of weeks ago, but it didn't happen. Ben's best teem rallied. You got that. You subbed at the last second because me and Phil looked at it during the Bears game and saw you still had an open spot. Mm-hmm. I don't even remember who it was. Chase Brown. Yep. So you swapped in Chase Brown, and that was the difference maker. You defeated Classic Phil 123-81. Yeah. Can I look at Phil's season schedule because I'm not sure. I can't remember the last time he had over 100.
That's so bad.
It's yeah, okay, I got his schedule here. So week 1, Phil lost 155-116. He did have 100, and then week 3 he had 81. Week 4 he had just over 100. Then 67 last week, and now 81 this week. Mm-hmm. It's rough times over there in the Classic Phil camp. I hear on both fronts in his fantasy league. So
he did the 81 for Kobe.
Yeah, he did it for Kobe. So shout out Ben, back to 500.
Yep.
After slipping for a couple weeks, that was a much needed win. I
lost 3 in a row. I needed to bounce back.
Yeah, very balanced game. Mark Andrews was probably the main difference maker because he hasn't been doing crap for you all year. So
right, yeah.
Seeing him come back, that was good. But moving along to the Deshaun team, I can't even imagine this team losing. When did they lose? 127-110 over Baker's dozen. Garrett, do you have anything to say for yourself?
About my fantasy team?
And switch.
I forgot Gary doesn't pay attention to the NFL show. So, yeah, ETN minus 0.1. That'll do it to you.
That ended up being a bad trade.
Yeah. Mike Evans also had a slow game. Jamar Chase only had 12 points, which I wouldn't say that's the reason you lost, but Shaheed only got you 8.5. Still a solid week. I mean, you only lost by 17 to what's been kind of the best team to this point in the season. So it's just funny that it's the Deshaun team. It's every time you have to look at the top of the standings. It's that Deshaun team. Anyways, moving along, the Chinry 20s have a dream tonight, and I don't think it's going to happen. But they are currently down by 1 point to fight. They need James Cook to not play. He's currently questionable, and the Jets defense to get negative points. And theoretically, the 20s would be on top. But additionally, he had Dallas Goedert and Marvin Harrison Jr. both go out of their games. I know Harrison at least started. I don't know. Goedert maybe was a game-time decision, and he didn't catch that. All he has to do is have Tyler Boyd, who had 4.9 points, and this could be a completely different game. But, yeah, interesting there.
Goddard did get hurt in the game.
It was in game? So, yeah, he had two players get hurt in game. Mm-hmm. If Goddard is there, if Marvin Harrison Jr. gets a couple catches, it's a completely different game. So that's a rough break for the Chinry 20s, but he's been able to turn it around. And lastly, the presidential powerhouse. I love the Avengers logo, or that's actually the Alex Perez logo.
Yeah, that's right.
That fault. They could be confused. They copied off of you. So.
Yeah, for sure.
But currently up 131 to 83 on Cup My Life and the Breezes. There's still a 21% chance of win here.
Hey, look, I've seen Josh Allen do crazy things. Anything is possible. It's Monday Night Football. I just need high scoring game between a team that doesn't like giving up points. It's fine. Yep. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm just going to continue to cope over here. It's fine.
Yep, the copium.
Go Jets, go.
Go Jets, go. So, I mean, we're still pretty much in the portion of the season where it's all kind of tied. We got 4-1 tie between teams, 2-3, 3-2, and then 1-4 for Classic Phil and Cup My Life and the Breeze is soon to be 1-5. And let's go ahead and wrap up the fantasy portion of this show. Last week, it was a week in NFL. I got to catch some games after watching women's soccer. Have a really good match. Where do we want to start? I guess Thursday night.
Yeah, Thursday night.
All right. Well, on Thursday night we had the San Francisco 49ers going up against the Seattle Seahawks. I was the only person who picked the Seahawks or didn't pick the Seahawks in this game. And there was a little portion where I thought they might come back there, but the Niners kind of controlled the game for the majority, and that's kind of the difference. I felt the Niners would be consistent, whereas the Seahawks, they just can't really put a game together against a good team or even bad teams. So Garrett maybe has a little something to say about his team, or
Geno Smith just had a bad game. That's kind of what boils down to it. DK was getting upset with Ryan Grubb, their new OC from University of Washington. He wanted Grubb to get the ball downfield to him more, and that just wasn't happening. But it really was just Geno having a bad game and the 49ers still being able to lock up Kenneth Walker for not a lot of yards.
I'm going to say, speaking of the 49ers, they also possibly lost Jordan Mason, maybe for a few weeks. Might be back this week. It's all pending his whole shoulder thing. There's an internet suspicion that they benched him because his over-under was the most bet in all of football last week. Really? And it was 75 yards, and he ran for 73.
Oh, wow.
So the people's obviously sports suspicion when that all came to it. But Isaac Guarando and
I'll take the over on him next week.
Patrick Taylor both came in, and it doesn't matter who plays running back for that team. It literally doesn't. McCaffrey's still clearly the best one, but they're going to produce running games no matter what. But Debo had himself a game, 3 catches, 102 yards, and a tutty. That touchdown I was very grateful for. First touchdown. No big deal.
It was also just a really bad play by the safety for the Seahawks.
I thought it was a great play.
And the 49ers are finally getting healthy, so we're seeing the team that we all expected to see at the beginning of the year.
Absolutely.
They
Yes.
had a big game we're going to talk about a little bit later, but let me go ahead and read through these scores, and then we can kind of go from there. In London, the Bears defeated the Jaguars 35-16. I take a gander at Josh over there. The Buccaneers, that was an interesting Buccaneers-Saints game. It started out like 17-0, and then it was 27-17 or 20 or something. And the Saints came back, and then the Saints didn't score at all in the second half, and the Buccaneers won 51-27. About what you would expect from a Buccaneers-Saints game, but
Tampa Bay set a record in that game for most yards in franchise history.
how much?
I can't remember off the top of my head. But it was like
it's
600
over,
something.
Yeah, it was over like 600.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ravens Ravens defeated the unexperienced Commanders, just as Josh and Ben predicted. Or you took the
I took
Commanders.
solo.
Yeah, you went the commies with me, but as Josh predicted, the Packers 34-13 over the Cardinals. The Colts survived the Titans 20-17. The Texans beat the Patriots 41-21. The Eagles defeat the Browns 20-16. That doesn't look right. The Chargers defeat the Broncos 23-16. The Steelers defeat the Raiders 32-13. I don't know why I was celebrating, but I was just, I don't know, happy.
Because you got that black and gold on, you've already been brainwashed. It's not the same, I know. Keep going.
Thank you, Josh. Falcons 38-20 over the Panthers. The Lions 47-9 over the Cowboys, and last but definitely least, the Bengals 17-7. I think it was said best before the show. Who said it? I think it was maybe Garrett. The Bengals sucked, but the Giants sucked more.
Yeah, that's essentially what I said.
This is something you guys got to understand. And I mean, I get it. You guys don't know NFL like me.
All right, Mr. Gatekeeper.
That Giants defensive line is the best in the NFL.
Oh yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. Literally number one
Even
ranked.
without Thibodeau.
Correct. Yeah. Brian Burns might be the most underrated player in the NFL when it comes to the defensive side. You never hear his name brought up there with Crosby, Garrett, Watt, but he still does it like insane numbers. But it's because him and Dexter Lawrence are stuck on the Giants.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to talk about them.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah, so
we'll get to that.
I was just going to go straight into the rant. I want to
you
start
wanna
with them.
go?
Let's start with them because it's going to be
rip the Band-Aid so we know how much
it's
time
always
we have
the longest
for the
we
rest.
talk. Exactly. So,
Okay.
listen, I'm going to just sum it up like this, gentlemen. Bengals, we won a game yesterday. If we win on Sunday, that'll be 2 in a row. And if we win one the next Sunday versus the Eagles, that's called a winning streak. And it has happened before. 4-4, you're still in it. We aren't dead yet. We wanted to kill them last week, and they're not dead yet. They went out there. Joe Burrow, that man is sneaky fast, as he likes to say. That
Also
was
concussed.
also possibly concussed, but he says he wasn't. But I don't know if I fully believe that.
No clear him, don't worry.
But yeah, no, huge game this Sunday.
Definitely.
What happened yesterday? Defense came out. I don't think they even allowed 300 yards of offense to the Giants. Giants clearly miss Neighbors, and if they have Neighbors, they may win that game. If they had Thibodeau, they may win that game. I don't know if they win the game if they have Singletary. I don't think Tracy's a downgrade there.
No, I think he's an upgrade in the way he's looking. No bias here or
Yeah.
anything, but
But yeah, no. The defense was an impressive win. It was the first time they haven't given up 10 or more points in 75 games, which is the longest streak in the NFL. So that was nice to see, and I didn't believe that stat when I saw that. But they got the win.
Yep.
Doesn't matter how ugly it was. It's a win. A win is a win. You move on to next week, and it's Cleveland. Joey B never plays well versus Cleveland. And if Brian Burns had a field day, how's the second best defensive end in the NFL about to have versus us? OBJ and Mims are going to have to step up, or Garrett's going to have a field day. Not that Garrett, Myles Garrett.
I'll rush him.
But any of y'all got a take on the Bengals game?
honestly, you said
Actually,
it all.
let me ask the Pittsburgh fan first.
Yeah, are we coping over here?
Absolutely. I just love that next week is already a big must-win game. That's what happens when you start 1-4. And the Browns are coming up, but Nick Chubb is back. So good luck to the best rush defense in the league.
But my question is, I mean, how healthy can Chubb really be?
That's
I mean,
That's fair.
How does that matter?
Those knee surgeries, man, like you know what? I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not going to put it in the universe. Somebody quickly shut me up.
I think
I was about to say I could run through that defense, so I don't think Chubb's gonna have a problem.
I mean, they played well this past week, though. I mean, they
did.
contained the Giants pretty well. I think Daniel Jones might have been the leading rusher on the team. Like, it wasn't a bad week. And the week before that, they contained Derrick Henry outside that last run. He only had like 40-something yards. I don't know. They've looked better, so maybe there's hope. They're starting to get a little healthier. I'm not ready to call it quits. Leave me alone.
I'm glad you also have hope.
Thank you, Alex, for being the voice of reason. That's why we brought him in, to be the voice of reason to delusional Bengals fans. But Ben, do you have anything to say about him? Or?
I mean, yeah. Like you guys mentioned, or actually, Josh, what you mentioned, though, it was a great defensive performance by the Bengals. I mean, hopefully we can get on a streak going heading into Cleveland, though. And, I mean, we still got some work to fix on the offense.
Well, it's 2 in a row. A streak's not till you hit 3.
Well,
honestly, until that dialogue started in the college football game, I didn't know that there was a difference there. Too,
yeah,
so.
it was just a joke, man.
Okay, I was going to say, I mean, we're starting a streak, but yeah, we obviously got some things to clean up with the offense. I mean, they didn't play like they did against Baltimore, which was really disappointing, but I mean, hopefully we just keep this defense going. I mean, BJ Hill, he stepped up really well, and Trey was a monster. Yeah, I forgot to mention Trey Hendrickson, of course. So, yeah, I'm just looking forward to see what they got in Cleveland this weekend.
Yeah, that D-line can get their legs under him.
I didn't even think about that. You all get Nick Chubb and then Saquon Barkley.
Can we not? We're not worried about Barkley. We're worried about this week in Cleveland. One game at a time.
Okay.
When you're trying to climb out of the hole, it's one game at a time. Don't worry, you'll be joining us down here soon.
That's fair.
Alex, if you look closely, you could see the part where my soul left my body as you said Saquon.
But you know what? Since you probably want to talk about him, you want to go ahead and talk about your wonderful Steelers?
I would love to beat down Las Vegas, and this is a great example of why you don't bench Justin Fields. He is the only offense. Let me give you all a stat that blew my mind. Before the fourth quarter, Justin Fields was the only one with a rushing touchdown for the Steelers all season.
Really?
Najee had 0. Jalen Warren's been hurt the whole year, basically.
That's a real stat?
Yeah, real stat.
That's mind-boggling.
And he's been putting up comparable numbers to even players like Patrick Mahomes, who's somehow in the MVP lead, statistics-wise. But anyways, yeah, let's go with Russell Wilson behind a decimated offensive line. It doesn't make sense. Anyways, enough of that. TJ Watt, if he doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year, Roger Goodell's going to hear from me. On his birthday, 2 tackles for losses, 2 forced fumbles, 1 at the goal line. He's the best defensive player every year.
Definitely. I mean, he clearly is the best defensive player. And before the year, I even said, like, this is going to be a TJ Watt, like, okay, he's going to the Hall of Fame type season, and it's absolutely delivered. He's with Surtain getting the concussion and then Hutchinson breaking his leg. TJ's going to walk. Like, yeah, I'm with you. I will go with you. We will find Goodell, and we'll break his legs.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 times he's been a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year and only won 1. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. He needs it this year.
It's LeBron treatment.
Gobert can get 4 of them. Give me TJ Watt some.
No, I mean, it's literally just a LeBron treatment. He's just so good, they don't want to give it to him every year. They want to try to notice somebody else. Because I'll tell you, Aiden Hutchinson probably would have stole it from him.
Without a doubt,
if TJ Watt, or if Aiden doesn't get hurt.
No doubt, because they hate him.
Yeah.
And TJ Watt, back to your Gobert point, could guard a perimeter in the NBA, I think. So better than Rudy.
He could probably win it in the NBA if he wanted to. But I totally agree. I think TJ Watt. Yeah, you say it sometimes. It's like we always will be like, oh, the Steelers have a great defense. You're like, they have TJ Watt.
Yeah.
They have TJ Watt and
gets
some
in the
picks.
backfield and forces turnovers, and that's what the Steelers defense thrives on. Now, this year, they are a little better. Dante Jackson is great. Minka Fitzpatrick's been able just to play his Troy Polamalu role. But in years past, like the 4 or 5 past years, we've had a great defense. It's just been TJ Watt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I do have one question. Obviously, I agree with you. Fields should be the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at NFL.com, their gen stat of the game, the Steelers recorded their 3rd win despite finishing fewer than 300 total yards of offense. They got to get a little more production out of that, right?
Yeah, we apparently did not fire Matt Canada.
Well, you hired Arthur Smith.
That's the problem. It's not Justin Fields. He's doing everything he can. George Pickens is the only person he has to throw to. He gets doubled every single play. There's no options for him to work with, and Najee has put together a terrible season before the game against the Raiders, so hopefully he's trending in the right direction, but that's why the total yards.
Putting you on the spot. So should they go all in and try to get Devontae Adams?
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. You don't trade Pickens, but besides that, I feel like anybody else is on the table because trade Freiermuth because you're not passing to him anyway, so might as well.
Yeah, but he's a big part of that team. Like
Yeah,
he's like a centerpiece. But I do love Darnell Washington. That's a big boy.
Yeah,
Does Las
not
Vegas
throwing to either
need-
one, but they'd both be great.
Does Las Vegas need another tight end though?
No.
No. But Ben, you got a big game that stood out to you.
Yes, sir, I do. So the Detroit Lions come into Arlington and blow out the Cowboys 47-9. And from all of us at the Norse BenchWarmers, happy birthday, Jerry Jones. I had to do it.
Oh my God!
But back to
Bang! Incredible!
All right, so back to the game. I thought the Lions' defense was absolutely unreal. They did a great job pressuring Dak Prescott. The offense took advantage of a banged-up Dallas defense. I mean, Jared Goff was able to connect with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams down the field, and David Montgomery coming off a contract signing with a 2-touchdown performance. How about that? And overall, though, this team is looking like a Super Bowl team. However, Aiden Hutchinson is out for the rest of the year with a broken leg, and just disappointing, though, because obviously he was a big-time factor on the Detroit defense, led the league in sacks, but it's just really disappointing to see him go down. He's really fun to watch.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. That dude is a blast to watch, and he definitely was a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. I still think Watt had it, but if he won it, I wouldn't have been. Or there's probably no other person I would have wanted than those two. So, yeah, it's just sad to see. I hate injuries like that.
And especially, I mean, that was literally one of the most freakiest of freak accidents I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He's just swinging his body around, and his offensive lineman or his defensive lineman basically just checked his leg.
Yeah.
Like it was just a complete accident. You can't do anything about
Momentum
that.
carried him into the plant leg.
What was that?
His momentum just carried him into that plant leg for the D tackle.
Yeah, and I mean, Hutch is a guy that isn't typically injury prone that I've noticed at all, and to see it kind of just have that freak accident, it's just sad.
They got to go trade for another defensive end.
So, okay, I want to bring it up.
Yeah.
Raiders are talking about trading Max Crosby.
Really? Oh.
I mean, the Raiders are basically full sale. Like I'm telling you right now, there's legit rumors Pierce could already be fired and out the door.
Really?
Thanks, Mr. Brady. He might want a former coach that he knows very well taking over in Las Vegas, but I'll leave it at that. If you're the Lions, would you give up your first round pick for Max Crosby?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're Super Bowl contenders, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to now twist it and take it back selfishly to this portion of it. Here's my first question. The Bengals, they're 2-4.
Oh, here we
the
go.
Bengals are 2-4.
Thank you.
If somebody called and the Lions called about Trey Hendrickson and offered you their first round pick for Trey Hendrickson, would you give up on the season and trade Trey?
After losing to the Browns, yes.
So I said the same thing. I got to see it out.
I would say no.
Okay.
I love having Trey in Cincinnati.
Okay.
I would also say for the greater good of the team, I would say probably not because the first round pick is going to be a bust anyways. So
You all are coping with a losing season. Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Look at the future.
So then the question becomes, if you're the Bengals, I still think they are just a piece away. They need to go out and get some kind of piece on that defense to solidify it.
Oh, you said defense.
Would you give up your first round pick for Max Crosby if you were the Bengals?
Well, they need somebody on that D line.
Yeah.
That's an all-in type move that
It
we've
is.
never seen this franchise do. They have $10 million just put to the side. Say you win this weekend, you're 3-4. Do you take a chance of giving up a top 10 pick if you lose out for Max Crosby?
Max Crosby for T. Higgins in the pick.
Man, that's tough.
They want a wide receiver.
I don't actually hate
For
T.
Devontae
Higgins,
Adams?
T. Higgins for Max. I don't know if I'd hate that. And then you get
take that,
Devontae in return too.
Because
they said superstars from them.
so they want a wide receiver, right? In return, T. Higgins, he plays wide receiver.
Yeah.
If you're already, if you could just sweeten the deal, I would give up a first and a second for those two and T for those two.
That would be a gigantic trade.
Yeah.
I'm thinking in NBA terms.
Yeah, I'm into it.
That's an NBA trade. There's too many players involved. But
so yeah, I had to throw it out there.
That would actually be crazy, but it's not happening. We need to move along.
Well, no, we'll get back to it. Do you got a game you want to bring up, or?
I'd like to talk about the London game. Not the actual.
Go ahead.
Because Caleb Williams is good.
Because Caleb Williams is good. Like I'll be the first one to admit I'm wrong on Caleb Williams. And, there's still a long way to go. He's a rookie. There'll be some growing pains, I'm sure. But he proved to me that he's already on the level. I mean, there's a stat. He already has the same amount of passing touchdowns or just touchdowns in general than Justin Fields and Mitch Trubisky had in their rookie years in Week 6. So I think I'm not necessarily going out there because I think Justin Fields definitely still got screwed over. But my narrative that Caleb Williams is going to be a bust is certainly out the window. They looked very good against a not too good Jaguars team. Sorry, Josh. But yeah, I think he showed on the stage that there's going to be some growing pains because there was a very ugly interception that he just lobbed the ball in the air like straight out of college football. I said, that's a Pac-12 throw right there. But all in all, with this receiving core, with him getting better week in and week out, NFC North is by far the best division in the NFL. They have 2 legitimate title contenders. Potentially
I would argue 3. I'd argue 3.
You want to throw the Vikings in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
That defense alone, yes.
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
All right. So you got 3 title contenders. You got the Bears, who in a year, if they retool, I feel like there's still something missing from that team. I don't know what it is. I guess it's just Caleb Williams, another year of development. They could easily be there. Yeah, we were very wrong when we put the AFC North above this division. They are tough as hell.
So, question: with Caleb Williams playing the way he is right now, how does that shift the Rookie of the Year conversation at all, or is Jaden Daniels still a front runner, or after these couple weeks is Caleb Williams taking his spot?
For me, no, I don't have a memory of a goldfish. So, like, I can remember that Caleb Williams struggled to start the year. Jaden Daniels had a rough first game, and still kind of until that Bengals game, week 3, that's when he really turned the corner. I absolutely think Jaden Daniels is still the Rookie of the Year, but I think Caleb Williams has now entered his name into the ring officially after that Jaguars game.
Yeah, no, I agree. Daniels is still there. Vegas also agrees. Caleb is closing the gap, and it's going to be fun to watch. They play each other in 2 weeks, gentlemen.
Ooh,
really? Yeah, all right.
Two Sunday, and we won't be able to watch because
when you said 2 weeks, I wondered. I was hoping it was maybe a primetime game.
No. Yeah. But very quickly, just to throw one more team out there, the Texans remembered who they were. They dropped 41 on the New England Patriots, getting Joe Mixon back, 13 attempts, 102 yards, and a tutty. Very nice. But however, don't sleep on Drake May. Drake May had a pretty solid game for his first career start, 20 of 33, 243, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Going to have to work on that. But still, pretty solid game for his first career start.
Yeah.
But on that, I think it's time to move on to the prime time.
I did want to add, since you mentioned your rookie, I wanted to add Spencer Rattler also had a pretty decent debut considering he's a rookie. I mean, 22 for 40, 243 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. I mean, no, it's not game breaking, but I also thought like he had him in the game there for a second. So shout out to that. But like you said,
insane stat, by the way. Cliff Kingsbury has 5 starting quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Or not Cliff Kingsbury, sorry, Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
They're the same person.
They are essentially the same. Lincoln Riley is Cliff Kingsbury if he just stayed in college football.
It's pretty nuts how talented that dude's QB room has been, and still 0 national championships. However, primetime pick. Go ahead.
I have one more question for Ben.
Yeah.
Really quickly. So you covered the Detroit Dallas game, right?
I didn't watch the whole game, but I watched certain parts of it.
But he was talking about it,
yeah.
Did you see what happened to Carlton Davis? Because I think that was kind of overshadowed by what happened to Aiden Hutchinson. Because I don't know. I know Carlton Davis went out. I don't know if he stayed out, but I remember that being another big injury.
To be honest with you, I really don't know what happened.
I can try and look it up here if you want to give the six pack.
So the primetime picks, it was Ben, now 18-14 on the year, 3-2 this past week, but he also has the Jets. I am 19-13 on the year, 2-3 on the week. I have the Jets, and Colton 18-14, 4-1 on the week. He also has the Jets, however. So it's a very tight race. Plenty of time to see what happens. And there's 7 games this week, so there's a lot to talk about. We will get into this very quickly, and I'll go ahead and just start it.
Carlton Davis loses helmet, gets kicked in the head by teammate, and he is being evaluated for a concussion.
So that could be another big loss for them.
That's a huge loss.
That's a huge loss.
Yep.
So that Detroit's great defense, but man, you see, you're going to get me on this rant. Your post about Dan Campbell. Dude, I would love to play for that guy.
I would absolutely. Like, it's making me like a Detroit team, and I don't like it, but I am absolutely rooting for this Detroit team to win it all. 31 teams would love to have a locker room like that, seeing a leader like Jared Goff hand the game ball back to Dan Campbell and saying that our coach is our rock. There's nobody else is getting that.
We're playing for our coach because, I mean, they know Dan Campbell gets some criticism because of the way his playing style is. So they want to go out there and they want to prove him correct, I guess I would say, and be like, no, you're allowed to be this wild, you're allowed to be this crazy, and you're allowed to have faith in your players. Lord forbid you have faith in your players to make plays.
Hey, now.
It's crazy to me that he still gets criticism after putting up almost 50 points on the Dallas Cowboys in Arlington.
Well, he's not getting too much this week.
But it's just the NFL and adapting the new coaching style, adapting to a league that doesn't like change. Plain and simple. So, but now we can finally get into the primetime picks. First one, Thursday night, Broncos at Saints. Boys, I don't know where I'm going yet, so I'm going to let one of y'all go first.
I'm taking the Broncos here. Give me Sean Payton against his old team. The Saints have been free-falling since their 2 weeks of being Super Bowl contenders. And, I think the Broncos' defense is going to be the difference maker in this game. Is there word, is Carr or Rattler going to start?
I think Carr was out for a few weeks, so I think it'll be Rattler.
So Rattler, that even adds to it. It's interesting that I just realized that's going to be a rookie QB battle. But Bo Nix has looked all right. He's looked pretty solid these last 2 weeks, and I think Broncos are an okay team. I never thought I'd be saying that. They were supposed to go 0-17, but here we are.
Yeah, I'm going with the Broncos as well. I mean, with the Saints, they're obviously not the same team like we saw at the beginning of the year. Plus, Derek Carr and Chris Olave are both out with injuries, so that's 2 big parts of the offense. And Bo Nix has been strong this year, and I look for him to continue the momentum. So give me the Broncos. Broncos country, let's ride.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, the Saints are trending in the wrong direction. The Broncos have won 3 of the last 4 behind amazing defense, and Spencer Rattler's going to be on the other side. So I think they're going to be very happy about that. Give me the Broncos.
All right, you all talked me into it. I'll stick with the Broncos and take the Broncos and Sean Payton revenge game.
I was waiting for Josh to split the poll.
You're all right. Ben Miller's playing some really good quarterback out there in Denver. But this
get like one of those like fade from Ben's face to Bo Nix's face.
We need a side by side because the resemblance is uncanny. But I'll boil it down for you. This is really simple. This is Sean Payton's return to the Superdome. He owns that place. Sean Payton should win this game. If he doesn't, I'll be surprised.
He probably has had this game circled.
Yeah.
But moving on down the list, we have another major game here in London.
What did London do?
Well, this is the one that like was supposed to be their punishment for.
No, that's Frankfurt game.
Oh, it's the Frankfurt game.
Germany's getting punished.
Wait, what's that game?
Panthers Giants.
Oh,
we're sending the best of the best abroad.
This is their punishment for the Revolutionary War, and then Germany gets their punishment for. Okay, there's a history lesson for you guys. But the Patriots and Jaguars are facing off. Assuming still in Tottenham. Good old Tottenham, I love saying that. Sunday, 9:30, NFL Network. The last game of the Jaguars' 3-game homestand. There's like a part of me that kind of thinks Drake May could cook. And that's why I'm taking the Patriots in this game. I'm going against the grain. I'm saving the graphic, but it'd just be like perfect if the Jaguars go 0-3 in London, their future home.
Yeah. I was kind of going back and forth in this game, but I think I'm going Patriots. So I'm interested to see what Drake May continues to do in his second start. So give me the Patriots in London.
Jaguars, don't let me down. I'm taking the Jags. They can't lose again. Honestly, I think them being over there for the entire week has to play a little helpful effect.
Yeah.
They'll be accustomed to everything, and they'll be used to the time zone. So give me the Jaguars, please.
This game deserves to be on PBS. Nobody deserves to win. Nobody should have to watch this game. Give me the Jags, I guess.
Josh,
All right.
Josh, I have a question.
Sure.
I have a question. As a fan of Duval, if the Jags lose this game, what is Doug Peterson's fate?
He should be fired. And
Should he be left in
He should have
London?
been fired last week.
They should also fire Press Taylor. I don't understand with these weapons why they can't find a way to score. Losing Etienne is a big loss, obviously, because he's been basically their offense.
Yeah, it's pretty big
But
loss.
with these weapons, it doesn't make any sense. But I guess Taylors just don't know how to use their weapons. Let's move on.
Let's move along to the Texans and the Packers. This is a huge matchup. I'm definitely tuning into this one. The Packers are a team in recent weeks. They've stumbled. They also had the Jordan Love injury, and he came back. He wasn't necessarily 100%, at least he might have been 100% healthy, but just like on the field, he wasn't quite there, still getting his feet. But we saw the Packers give a full game last week, albeit to the who they play. I can't think of who they played, but
Cardinals,
yeah, albeit to the Cardinals, who's looked better in recent weeks, but just you could tell the Packers were a step above. That defense is nasty. I'm going with the Packers in this one because I just feel the Texans, they're going to drop a game here at some point, and I think this is the perfect spot for it.
Yeah, I'm riding with the Packers too. I mean, obviously you got two really talented offenses that like to throw the ball and two really talented quarterbacks. So I feel like with the Packers at home, that's going to be the difference. So give me Green Bay.
Possible future Super Bowl matchup, just saying, could potentially be.
I would love it.
I'm also
sure.
going to ride with the Packers. They've been my pick to win the Super Bowl. Jordan Love looks really, really good now that he's healthy. He's using all his weapons. Yeah, give me the Packers.
Yep.
Yeah, Jordan Love has looked fantastic since he's been back from injury, but I think Houston is the best offense in the league, not the Browns.
I'm getting it from you now.
From the top rope.
So give me the Texans with C.J. Stroud and a healthy Joe Mixon.
I love how we just have our commonalities every episode that comes up.
It always comes back full circle.
Ben thought he was making a whole episode without having to hear about it. Here we are.
What did I ever do to you guys?
You said the Browns had the best offense in the NFL.
If Deshaun Watson would show up, jeez.
Deshaun Watson.
Let's not ask for that this week. Okay, let's not put it in the universe.
Okay, yeah.
Don't put that in the universe.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with him showing up this week.
Well, not
Shut
this
up,
week.
Alex. Nobody asked you.
Anytime but when they're playing the Bengals. Anyway, let's move on.
Chiefs at 49ers, Sunday, 4:25. That's another big matchup. A Super Bowl rematch, if you will. That'll be on Fox, their game of the week. I got the Niners here. I think the Chiefs got to lose a game, right?
Yes.
At some point, they got to drop a game. And the Niners team has been getting healthier in recent weeks. They've looked more like the Niners team we remember. That defense, I don't know what's the deal with Fred Warner. Is he
was
back?
playing. Yeah, he was playing.
He's back. Okay, I know he was injured. I don't know if he ever came back or whatnot, but I think that as long as they have him, I feel confident in them kind of exposing what's been a lollygag start despite being 5-0 for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I was going back and forth with this matchup, but I'm actually going with the 49ers because, like you said, Colton, Chiefs, they got to eventually lose sometime.
Right.
And they got a lot of key players coming back from injury, though. So give me the Niners in Santa Clara.
I mean, they eventually got to lose, just not this one. The Chiefs are healthy. 49ers are not. Give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, I've learned not to bet against the Chiefs. Plus, this is a Spagnuolo offense that'll probably be against a one-dimensional San Francisco offense with the run game in question. So give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, it just kind of feels like this game is being played in a hospital parking lot with the amount of injuries that both teams have.
That's fair.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, I mean, who all are they? So the Chiefs are missing Rice and Pacheco. I mean, there's your wide receiver 1 and running back 1.
Yeah.
Obviously, 49ers missing McCaffrey. I guess there's
maybe Mason too.
maybe Mason. So, I mean, there's just so many injuries on both of these teams. But again, the Chiefs have to lose at some point, right?
Right.
It's got to happen.
They don't.
Right?
They don't.
They don't.
Yeah. That's a problem. They don't.
The Dolphins are looking those 70s Dolphins. No.
Right. There you all go coping
What's
again.
what's the over under? What's the over on? Oh, never mind.
What? What did you never mind about?
I was gonna say what's the over under on the amount of I don't know Jims, but then I remembered it's a Fox game, so it'll be Brady.
I don't know, Jim.
By the way, just throwing this out here, total disrespect by Fox. I know they kind of scheduled this beforehand, but the Lions and Vikings play this week, and they picked the Chiefs 49ers as their game of the week instead because they didn't want their game of the week to go against the Texans Packers.
I mean, this is a Super Bowl rematch, though.
They play at 1.
Yeah.
Well, they just always pick their game of the week for
beforehand. Yeah, it's what CBS picks, and then they pick or they take turns picking.
Right.
So
I would love to see that Lions Vikings game. Though,
it should be the game of the week. But.
It should absolutely. But yeah, I get what you're saying now. So we still got a couple games to pick from here. We have one a little close to home for Alex, the Jets and Steelers on Sunday Night Football, 8:20 NBC. I want to hear what Alex has to say before I make my decision.
It's quite simple. The first to 10 wins. 2 of the worst offenses and 2 of the best defenses. Give me the team with Mike Tomlin as coach against the team with
who?
Who's the coach? I don't know.
Jeff Ulbrich.
So Jets Steelers. This is definitely what we all signed up for on Sunday night. However, I'm sick and tired of watching the Jets, so just give me the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm going Steelers as well. 2 really good defenses going up against each other. I feel like TJ Watt's going to make a play late, so give me Pittsburgh.
We've been agreeing a lot, and I thought this could be one where there'd be some discourse, but I feel like the Jets are on a kind of trajection, whereas the Steelers are, there's their usual trajection. So
it's the we'll get to 500 trajectory.
I just think there's so much drama behind the scenes with the Jets that it's just like too much to really bank on, especially against the Steelers team that is going to be a tough team to beat. And yeah, give me the Steelers.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how Ulbrich does in his coaching debut. And who did they replace?
That's today.
Yeah, no, I know.
Oh, okay.
But who's gonna replace, or who replaced Hackett for play calling duties?
It was
there?
somebody else. I mean, it's on the.
It'll be an interesting.
So.
It'll be interesting to see if we see any changes in that team with this new coaching staff.
Hey, how about you run Breece Hall? Let's start with that. All right, 20 times a game. Run Breece Hall starting tonight, please.
Ben brought up a good point. If TJ Watt gets there and Rodgers, he's going to disintegrate. So,
dude, he's just going to be that meme of the kid going like and just disappearing. That's like just going to be Rodgers. He just teleports to his darkness retreat.
It's a walking Thanos snap.
Yeah, but just, so moving along to a double feature of the Monday Night Football. I love how they make one game nobody wants to watch, and then like here's the game everybody wants to watch. At least this one's on ESPN Plus only. You have the Ravens and Bucks. They start at 8:15. That's the game we all want to see. Yep. There's also that Chargers and Cardinals game, but we'll talk about that when we get there. But that's on. I didn't know that was ESPN Plus only, though. That's interesting.
I'm telling you, it's going to become a thing. Get ready for it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. NBC's already doing that. Made me watch Purdue IU on Peacock. Never forgive them for that. But this Ravens Bucks game, it's interesting because I feel like you just never know what Bucks team is going to show up. We literally saw 2 Bucks teams in the Saints and Bucks game where they ran out to a 17-0 lead, then was down at halftime 27-24, and then they blew them out 51-27. So I have a feeling, though, that the Ravens are due for one of those fourth quarter collapses. I think it happens here against the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bucks as well. I mean, obviously you got 2 really good offenses, 2 really good quarterbacks, but I feel like the Bucks are going to take advantage of throwing the ball to the Ravens secondary. So give me the Bucks.
Derrick Henry is first in carries, first in rushing yards, and first in rushing touchdowns. Derrick Henry is still king. They have Lamar. Give me the Ravens.
Yeah, this is first to 60 wins. The Ravens have figured out that you can keep Derrick Henry on the field even when he's not running. Yeah. So that's kind of made it hard for people to plan against the offense now.
Yep.
So they figured it out. And weird losses to the Falcons and the Broncos for the Bucks. So I just trust the Ravens more. Give me the Ravens.
That's fair.
My gut's telling me the Ravens wins this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Baker has a moment and wins this game for the Bucs.
Primetime Baker.
Yep.
I mean, another potential Super Bowl matchup. It's a sleeper one and a long shot one, but arguably they're the two best teams right now in their conference.
Yeah,
And
I mean, if this Ravens team played the Chiefs at the beginning of the year, they'd be 4-1. We wouldn't be talking about they're going to lose, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's going to be a big one. And then a not as big one, we have the Los Angeles, San Diego Chargers at the Arizona Cardinals. I can't even act excited for this game. Josh, what do you think?
I'm not taking the Garden Gnomes, so give me the Chargers.
Yeah, he's gone from toddlers to garden gnomes. I don't know if we've officially announced that on the pod yet, but
I hope Harbaugh is healthy. Give me the Chargers.
I'd also say give me the Chargers, especially playing for a coach that might be sick. A little motivation there.
yeah, for the same reasons you guys, I got the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going Chargers as well. I look for J.K. Dobbins to show up in the run game, so give me Los Angeles.
I may not like him as a coach, but my best wishes go out to Harbaugh.
Absolutely,
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
Hope all goes well for him. That's scary stuff, and that's just kind of a part of coaching. Though at some point you have one of those scary moments, and sometimes you'll see them take a year or so off and come back. Sometimes they just right off into the sunset.
Yeah, the problem
so.
is that man will not take a year off.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought with Harbaugh.
Props to him. He was right back out there because my heart skips a beat or anything. I'm writing out my will. Like, it's not.
Okay, I don't want to put this in the universe, but I'll tell you right now, if Harbaugh were to quote unquote die on the sideline, he'd be the happiest person on the planet. Like the man, listen to the man talk football. He openly admits he likes people who talk football or love football. He loves football, and people who don't love football who talk to him, he tries to brainwash them to love football.
Yeah.
Football has been his life, his entire life, between his dad coaching, between him playing, between him coaching. The man just loves football. He loves football, he loves God, and he loves his players. And honestly, I'm telling you, don't sleep on that Chargers team. They're getting better every week.
Yeah. I think that Broncos win was, well, it was impressive how the Chargers almost blew a 20-0 lead.
Yeah,
but,
let's not bring that part up.
but I still think to score that much on a Broncos defense that is after dropping or allowing 70 points last year, kind of flipped a switch to being one of the better defenses in the NFL. So it's a lot to work out there. As he gets his guys in there, though, I'm sure that team it'll be fun. I'm excited to see Justin Herbert with a good team, but we'll see how it all goes. But that is all we have. Is there anything anybody wants to add before we call it an episode?
I'm good.
Yeah, I think
I
I'm
got
good.
nothing.
Anything over there, Garrett? No?
I'm happy.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoy. Be sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. We're looking to get 50 subscribers, and we'll do a secret giveaway. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Watch Alex win because he's our favorite subscriber. he's our top commenter too. So thank you, Bill and NK Media Services, for all that you do, making this show better each and every week. Thank you too for co-hosting. Thank you so much for coming on. We love having you on this show as always, and glad to get some picks from you. Glad to get that. Thank you, Garrett, for all you do in the director's chair, working hard, making this show go smoothly. Sometimes not as smoothly, but it happens. But yeah, be sure to follow us on Twitter at NorseBWPod, and 8 away from our goal. We'll see you all in the next one. Peace.